Welcome to Breath of Fresh Air, the podcast bringing fresh insight and real talk to the world of dental practice management. Your hosts, Amanda Demora and Sarah Hamlin, are two industry insiders who've seen it all from the front desk to the C-suite. Amanda, the founder of Essential Dental Services, now Daydream Dental, is an operations consultant, business coach, and practice management expert. Sarah, former COO of Essential Dental Services, continues her leadership journey as the COO of Daydream Dental, a cutting-edge dental billing company. Together, they deliver unfiltered conversations on dental office operations, leadership, revenue cycle management, team dynamics, strategy, industry trends, and more. Designed for practice managers, dentists, assistants, and front office professionals, this podcast is the ultimate resource for anyone looking to optimize and elevate their dental practice. Take a deep breath, because Breath of Fresh Air is here to shake things up and help dental teams build smarter, smoother, and more successful practices.
Are you a dental professional tired of complicated contracts and hidden fees when you're ordering supplies? At Frontier Dental, they're making things simple.
With over 40,000 products from over 80 trusted brands, you'll always find your favorite products without the hassle. No contracts, no minimums, always free shipping. Plus, their team is made up of former dental hygienists and assistants, so they truly understand the needs of your practice.
Are you ready to simplify your supply ordering? Use promo code FDBOFA at checkout and get $20 off your first order.
Visit frontierdental.com to shop now and experience a better way to buy dental supplies.
Now, let's dive into today's episode.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Breath of Fresh Air podcast. I'm Amanda Demora.
And I'm Sarah Hamlin.
And today we tracked down some people that we were really inspired by just via Instagram, who we thought were women doing something really cool and different in the dental space that's a little bit unfamiliar to us. And again, just super cool. And they are Jen and Danielle from Mint Preventative Dental Spa, which is a independent dental hygiene practice, right, ladies, in Maine. And welcome to the podcast.
Yes, very excited to have you guys here.
Thanks for having us. This is our first one, so
first of many. I'm sure it's going to take off after this.
Yes, because I'm in a mastermind with a bunch of dental consultants and just different women who are doing different things within the dental space. And when I said that you guys were coming on my podcast, I'm like, oh my God, like so fascinated by that. I love this model. And I think it's interesting where people can sometimes have differing opinions, but all of the ladies in this mastermind were like, I really see how both a traditional, doctor practice works and the hygiene practice only works too, and how there's room for everybody kind of in this space. So we'll dive into that a little bit more.
Yes.
But all right, I would love to hear just a little bit of background on both of you. Obviously, you went to hygiene school. Where did you guys work? Were you in traditional quote-unquote practices prior? And what led you to this?
Yeah. Jen and I both grew up in a small towns in New Hampshire, and then I went to the Mass College of Pharmacy down in Boston, which is the Forsyth Dental Hygiene Program.
Yep.
And then made my way back to New Hampshire, worked at a general practice, a busy general practice. It was like at its peak, 3 dentists, 7 hygiene practice for 13 years before we opened Mint. And Jen worked there alongside with me for 7 years. So we actually knew each other before working together, but then obviously working together, we had rooms right by each other. We got to know each other a lot better.
Listening to each other's patient conversations.
Yeah. And those 5 minutes you have in between pee breaks and patients.
Yes.
Yeah. Borrowing granola bars from one another, I'm sure.
Yes, exactly.
What year did you guys open? How long have you been open?
We opened August 2022.
Okay.
Dang.
So
okay.
like 2.5-ish years.
Yeah. Wow.
You guys are
okay.
like as kind of in still startup phase, sort of.
Yeah. Some days it feels like we've been here forever. And
And
some days
not.
it's just
Right.
like, yeah, it feels like we
Fair.
just opened.
Yes, new challenges are arising all the time, I'm sure.
Yes.
This one we started from scratch, but in the spring we purchased a second office. So we actually have 2 locations. The other one's not a Mint yet, but we do own 2 offices.
Oh my gosh. Well, congratulations. That is
Thanks.
exciting.
Thank
It is
you.
so exciting.
You just casually drop that like like, oh, well, actually.
That one's a little different. Of course, we purchased an existing practice. The woman was retiring. So that was a completely different learning curve than this was.
Sure.
So, yeah.
Okay, so then we have a lot to talk about. Like the differences between, acquisition and startup, which Sarah and I have always been fascinated and intrigued. And when I owned the billing company, again, Sarah still works for the company that acquired me, but startups were one of our favorites to work with. And her and I both have been practice managers. I actually am still a full-time practice manager. But the thought of starting over or like starting fresh is just so cool, especially when you have a lot of knowledge behind you. And you're like, okay, if I could do all this from the ground up, it's just a cool concept.
So I'm so curious, like you guys were working together in this practice, and then how did you guys working together, getting to know each other, how did that transition into starting Mint, or the ideas that you guys were kind of kicking around to realize like this needs to happen?
So we worked together again for about 7 years. And, you know, in between patients, you'd say, wouldn't it be cool if you could do it this way? Or wouldn't it be fun if you could do X, Y, Z? One thing that sticks out in my mind is I had a patient, I'd been seeing him for years and years. And every time he would joke about, hey, you don't have a martini flavored paste back there, do you? And Jen and I would just joke, like, wouldn't it be fun to be able to offer just some more fun prophy paste to just lighten the mood? So kind of started honestly over prophy paste and kicking that around. And then we got a mailer in the mail about a course from an independent hygienist, just introducing people to the idea of it. And we went to that course and we came back and we're like, wow, that would be really cool if that would pass in New Hampshire. But there was no signs of it passing on New Hampshire for a few reasons in the near future. And we live on the border of Maine. So at some point we were just like, what are we waiting for? Let's just hop the border and do it, you know?
Oh my gosh.
So it really, again, it transpired over prophy paste conversations, but it was more of we were, just excited to maybe offer a different type of experience for patients than traditional care generally does.
Sure. And like, I don't know, this reminds me of so many conversations that Amanda and I have had over the years of just like one random thing happens and we're just like, oh, I wish I could do this, or, oh, wouldn't it be great if we could do that, or, this one thing has plagued us for so long. And it might be something small like prophy paste. And then we just, you know, it kicks off a whole like train of thought and a whole thing. And Amanda and I have talked many times on our podcast about how her and I met. And we met over some random Facebook post as strangers, like to meet up at a conference for lunch or for dinner. And that really, it quite literally changed the course of my life and my career by, you know, meeting her and becoming friends with her and starting to work with her. And now, you know, all these things that happen because of that. So it is kind of crazy in the grand scheme of life how prophy paste really changed your guys' life.
Right?
Speaking of prophy paste, I've been trying to get this prophy paste company called Pop White. Have you heard of them?
No.
It's like,
Tell us.
right, I do. It's like a whitening prophy paste, so it's purple, and it kind of he goes no.
Does not get the hygiene stamp of approval.
Right. Like, too abrasive. It kind of, you know, like color correcting technology is supposed to have, but they're super fun. And again, like doing something different. I'm trying to get them to sponsor our podcast, but I haven't heard any bites yet on that.
Keep reaching out. I feel like.
Yeah, sometimes little tiny seeds can grow into something a lot bigger, obviously. All right, let's see.
So I guess my next question for you guys that kind of is, you guys had this idea kind of over Profi Paste. You realized like, okay, if we move over to Maine, we can make it happen. But what was the timeline of that kind of like transition for you guys? And also kind of you guys decided you're going to make the jump, and then what was the next step in this process? Because I'm sure it was not easy.
Yeah. Doesn't you guys are making it sound easy, but it does not. We know it's not.
Well, let's see.
We spent a lot of lunches in our car, just kind of
Together.
On every lunch break, we'd go out in our car and we'd just like try to put together a business plan and just
Yeah.
Step by step,
yeah,
baby steps.
Yeah. Do you guys remember like one or two maybe patient or practice things that happened in the practice where you're like, I would really like to do this, or we wish we had the freedom to be able to do X, Y, Z? We did mention Profi Paste, but
Yeah. I think most dental professionals can relate to this where, 75% of your day comes in and they're like, I really don't want to be here. I hate the dentist. You ask them how they are and they're like, well, I'm here, aren't I? And it's just like such a bummer. And, we would talk about it in between patients, say it doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't have to feel like such a chore and like you dread it all day. It doesn't have to feel like that when you come to the dentist. It can feel like you're going to get pampered, like you're going to the salon to hang out with your best friend and get a manicure. It can feel like that. And that's the spin that we wanted to put on it so that people could start actually looking forward to their appointments and truly finding the value in the care that we're providing as licensed healthcare professionals. And then by leaving them with that great feeling, they walk out the door, they tell their friends, and they're actually looking forward to their next visit instead of feeling anxious about their next visit once they get that text reminder.
Sure.
do you feel like, because I agree, the majority of people don't want to be there. You definitely run across those people like, no, I love having my teeth cleaned. I wish I could have my teeth cleaned once a month. Or do you feel like now your patients are more of the latter patients who just love coming in and love the experience?
Absolutely. I think the statistic is about 60% of Americans have some form of dental anxiety. So, and we've really tailored our experience to attract those people. But once they leave, you can visibly see and hear in their voice this relief. And they're always telling us, oh my gosh, this was so much better. I don't know why I was so worried about it. I used to dread coming. We've had patients come in tears and leave laughing, so it's been very rewarding. We have a great team that helps make that happen, of course, but
Yeah. Okay, so you guys were bonded over Profi Paste, thinking that you wanted to do things differently. What sets your hygiene-only practice apart from the general practice that you are in, and how does it function a little bit differently for the patient than a normal general practice?
we're all human beings, right? We have 5, possibly more senses.
Sure.
So we started right from the start. The moment you open the door, we have a branded scent that we have coming that hits you in the, I don't know, that's the wrong word.
Face.
Hits you in the face, yeah. We have a scent that doesn't smell anything like a traditional office. And the olfactory scent is so important. It brings you, you smell like, oh, what's that chapstick that we used to use in the 90s? A Smackers. You smell a
Lip
Smackers,
Smackers, yes.
a Lip Smackers chapstick, and that brings you right back to your 6th grade purple sparkly grape lip smacker, and you're on the dance floor with the boy you had a crush on, right? It brings you so, like, it's just so important. So the first thing that happens when they walk in is they're hit with this scent that transports them not to the dental office, not to that like hospital sterile feel.
Yeah.
And so many people compliment on that. So we've really worked hard on making sure that everything that they come into contact with doesn't actually feel like a dental office. So from the moment you walk in, you're hit with this scent. You're greeted cheerfully from our staff in like a, hey, we're so excited that you're here. And then our office decor is not that bright white or like dingy yellow that you see a lot. It's very calm and soothing and open and modern. We wanted it to feel like a luxury boutique hotel when you walked in. even down to the hand soap in the bathroom. Everything is just a little bit different from the first moment that you walk in. And that's really changed the experience. And again, you can see people visibly lighten when they walk in the door, and it's not stiff and clinical.
I think too, we try to train all of our providers to make it be all about the patient. It's patient centered, whereas in a lot of traditional healthcare and as a whole, we've gotten away from that patient centered model. And as a whole, this practice, we really, really try to focus on the patient from the start of the appointment to the end of the appointment.
And make them feel like they're our friends and that we care about them, because we truly do. But we ask about things. Maybe it feels like a distraction technique, but we actually do care about the relationship that we're building, because long term, we know that then they might look forward to actually catching up with us and feel a lot different for their next visit.
Yeah.
We've also focused on minimizing the equipment that we have out, which again kind of goes with our modern vibe, but the counters are clean. There's not big, bulky dental equipment out. We use, the handheld x-ray gun, and that's put away so that nobody's walking in again to all these tools out that they feel fearful about.
Sure.
We offer some luxury touches like a warm neck wrap, lips. We end every appointment with a lip scrub and a lip balm. And we use a jade roller to do a mini lymphatic drainage massage for the face.
Okay.
It's kind of, it's our version of, have you ever heard of the compliment sandwich?
Oh,
Where you give a nice compliment, you tell something bad in the middle, and then you give another compliment, and then everything's great. It's kind of our version of that. We do something wonderful in the beginning. We give you the, things that they don't love, the scraping and the tools in the middle. And then we end it with something nice so that they leave feeling a lot more refreshed and peaceful and less anxious. And they remember us for that instead of the middle.
Yeah, I love it.
I'm just picturing these lunch meetings and you guys planning things down to hand soap. And to me, that sounds so fun. It just does.
The hand soap was actually, I went over to Danielle's house and I was like, what is this hand soap? She had just had it at her house, and then it became our signature.
Yeah, my husband's favorite hand soap. And then they discontinued it. So we have to find a new hand soap.
I love how you have these signature things like the scent and the soap. So this is a silly question, but the scent, do people ask if they can know what the scent is to get it for their home? And then are you guys like, oh no, this is a proprietary blend, you can't have this?
We do share with our patients.
We probably weekly, I bet you people ask us what it is.
Yeah.
I'm picturing me walking into a Marriott, and that's I love that scent. And it's again, that's so signature to their hotels.
Yes. That's what we were trying to invoke. So we do share it with our patients. We're not that quiet about it, but
I think that for general practices, whether they intend to or not, like the practice you kind of mentioned with the 3 doctors and 7 hygiene, as much as you're trying to avoid it, it's hard not to fall into this prophy mill type of thing where hygiene is kind of there to feed into the doctor's schedule, right? So I can definitely see where an independent hygiene practice, this does become more of patient focused, forming relationships. They are looking forward to coming back to chatting with you and filling you in on their life and things like that. And I'm sure that they have, providers that they have favorites. They only want to see you or whatever it is. So it's I just love the spin on it than a traditional setting. And people can have that experience at a traditional practice too, of course. But where this is your main focus and goal, I like it.
Yeah, and I think another piece to answer the previous question that does set us apart is, and that patients do, we see them feel a difference, is because we don't have a doctor here, they don't feel that pressure or anxiety in the same way that they might feel when the doctor with the white coat enters the room.
Yeah.
It's just a much different feeling. And Jen and I, fortunately, we're in the dental field. We don't have dental anxiety. So we try our best to relate with it, but we can't truly relate. But we see that just having not the dentist walk in the door makes a big difference. The relationship with the hygienist versus the doctor is usually pretty different, even in a traditional office.
Yeah.
But just taking that piece out, we see the anxiety come down. We
Yeah.
see it as a baby step back into dentistry for people who avoided it for so long.
Yeah.
For sure.
Right.
Yeah. No offense, doctors. We
Yes.
we do love you, but it is true.
And
I
we
mean,
value.
there are plenty of studies about it. It's not, it's not that we're saying anything bad, but you're right. I mean, just having them there and knowing that they might be coming in, I think does definitely affect the patient experience. So far, it sounds like it was a very pleasant, very spa-like, very fun and exciting time putting this together, but I'm sure that there were some hiccups and some roadblocks. So what do you guys feel like was the hardest or most challenging part of getting this off the ground?
Well, like we said, we opened in 2022. So that was still in the COVID kind of things. So getting equipment, getting supplies, the construction of our build, it was a new build. So the timeline was a little off. I would think that was probably our biggest challenge, trying to figure out all the pieces.
Yeah, because there's probably about a 6-month delay in construction. We were waiting on an AC unit that just because of the COVID shipping times just wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, wasn't it supposed to be March?
Yes, we were supposed to open in March and we didn't open until August. So that was definitely a challenge. And then
For sure.
yeah, we don't want to
You always got to tack on 6 months to construct. My
Yeah.
husband's a general contractor, so I know his timelines are 3 times what he originally says.
And then Jen and I are both moms, and at that time I had a 2-year-old. I was pregnant. Jen had a 2-year-old. We were meeting on our lunch breaks to do everything because who has time with kids after work? There is none. So we really did everything on a 55-minute lunch break.
Oh my gosh.
Setting up bank accounts and making phone calls to lawyers and doing branding, and all of that happened on lunch breaks in our car because we didn't tell a single soul besides our spouses and our mothers until we opened and started advertising.
Guys, oh my gosh. I am just sitting here being my
Right,
mind is
mind
blown.
blown.
Holy cow.
We would do Zoom meetings and I'd be nursing my newborn on a Zoom meeting. It was fun.
I just think that because there was 2 of us, we were bouncing ideas off each other every second, that it felt a lot. It was a pretty smooth opening and stuff. We had our hiccups, but I think that we exhausted it every possible thing it could be could go wrong.
Yeah. And because we had 2 of us, if one of us couldn't do it for whatever reason, the other person maybe could pick that up. Or if it wasn't my strength, it might be Jen's strength. So it was very helpful to have us be partners and not do it all on our own.
I
The
bet.
ball keeps rolling when there's 2 people, which is nice.
Yes, it does.
But I definitely relate to your story of the billing company that I owned. A lot of that happened during lunch, taking meetings at lunch, after hours at night. I had a newborn at the time, and then obviously as time went on, I never left my practice manager job while I had that, which Sarah coming on board certainly allowed me to do both. But yeah, I feel
Yeah, it's a lot
why
to
do we
juggle.
do this to ourselves? Sometimes I'm thinking
There's something wrong with this.
right. You have a newborn, you're trying to start a business, you're currently working at another business. Not a lot of this is adding up, but sometimes I feel like that's the millennial in me. I heard this study that elder millennials, which I am, who lived through the economic downturn of 2008 in their formative years, have this intense desire to make money and be entrepreneurs and not ever go through that again. And that kind of resonated with me. I'm maybe that was it.
Yeah.
You didn't realize it at the time. At the time you were no big
Yeah,
deal,
exactly.
whatever. But now it's ingrained in you.
Yeah, I don't know. I
Yeah.
thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I like the fact that you feel like you didn't have a lot of hiccups and stuff. So I just want to, and I remember during COVID times at my practice, we were trying to order a new operatory chair, and that took a long time. A lot of delays going on there with equipment and stuff. If you don't mind me asking, who did you guys use for build out? How did you source all that stuff? Like, did you use one of the big companies for equipment? Did you try to, I've heard some people just get scrappy and do different things. Like they did all IKEA, or they did, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So as far as the construction was, it was through the company that the building owned. Like they have their own construction. So we had to go through them.
Oh, okay.
For all of,
right.
Yeah. But we got to design the office as far as where we wanted the walls, where we wanted the outlets. So it was nice. So we went in and we designed everything prior to them building it out.
This is now that okay, this is just getting even crazier. I can't imagine picking where outlets go. Like that's so
I feel like
outside
actually,
my
I guess that was probably our biggest challenge was like we've never done that whole process
Yeah.
before, and we didn't understand everything that's involved with that and all of the decisions and all of the costs that
Yeah.
come along with that. We were very
Naive.
sticker shocked and naive to that.
So we went through Patterson Dental is what we got most of our like equipment through.
Yep.
So they helped us do the office design. But that again, that was another struggle because they didn't understand our concept. Like they kept coming back with very traditional setups, right? Like a check in, check out, this. And we're like, no, we don't want that. So that we went back and forth a lot with that. But we did get IKEA furniture. We took a couple trips to Massachusetts to buy everything, and we spent our mornings building. It was like there weren't even floors down in the office yet. We're sitting on cement trying to
Put all these IKEA cabinets for the operatories up. That was a challenge.
Glad I mentioned it then.
IKEA was having such trouble after COVID sourcing all the things that Jen spent hours upon hours upon hours having to call and order piece by piece because they couldn't order like a whole cabinet
like
setup.
drawer by drawer, and
That was painful, actually.
yeah.
And then we did we did hire an interior designer, a local one. Her company is Amber Dawn Interiors, and we leaned heavily on her for design aspects and finishes so that everything would feel cohesive. That was an overwhelming process to figure out, like, we knew what we liked, but how does it flow from the front desk to the operatory to the lunchroom, and what fits and what doesn't?
See, this is like when you have a kid and you have like a miserable pregnancy and you have a kid, and then like after the kid is born and you have a newborn, you're like, oh, I could do this again. No big deal. Like that's the vibe I'm getting from this is you guys were like, it was not a problem. It was fine. And then we get more in the nitty gritty and you're like, well, actually, we were sitting on the concrete floor. Yeah, exactly. We're hearing there were actually some bumps in the road, but I'm glad that the overwhelming like response at the end has been so positive that you guys are just like, you know, still speaking so highly of it and thinking so fondly of it, honestly.
I think the just startup phase of any business is like the most fun. That's why I'm like, I don't know. I'd love to do lunches with Sarah every day and pick out hand soap and decide where outlets are going and all of that stuff.
See, and this is why Amanda and I work well together, because that part does not really sound that fun to me. I'd rather just be like, let's get in and just get to work and get stuff done. Let's get this off the ground.
I think if we were to do it again, we would be excited to do all of that. In that moment, it felt like a lot because we were also working full time and it was a totally new concept. And we were just like, is this actually going to work? Are we spending our life savings on something that's going to fail? And
yes. Yep.
But we also knew that we had to, because it was a new concept and we wanted people to like believe in it, that we had to go in. Like we couldn't just kind of like, you know, not do the nice fixtures or not make it look how we wanted to make it look, because we wanted people to like believe in us and believe in what we were selling.
Yep, 100%.
The beginning part is fun, but I also know that you're really looking forward to like being off the ground and running and making money and this thing all working out. So I think hindsight is always 20/20, and like you said, if you could go back and do it all again, you'd probably, again, it's kind of like having a baby.
Yeah.
You want to, I have a 1-year-old, and one of the reasons I wanted a second baby is because I felt like I didn't take the time to appreciate those like newborn moments. I was just in like day-to-day grind and hustle. But with the second, I'm able to kind of stop and say, okay, I'm just going to stare at this little being and I'm going to try to soak this all in and remember her as a tiny little thing.
So
Yes.
so this second location, no pressure on the second location, but now you guys got to be just taking it all in and enjoying every step of the way.
Yeah, which is so cool. That was not on our outline here, but I really want to dive into that too.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to talk a little bit about, so now I own a web design studio. I fell in love with marketing when I owned the dental billing company, and it was kind of a natural progression. And I mentioned one of the reasons I found you guys on Instagram is because I loved your social media presence and everything you guys had laid out. What was your vision for like just branding and logo and interior design from day one? How did you guys kind of settle on some stuff? Did you have a Pinterest board you were sharing?
We did have a Pinterest
We did
board.
have a Pinterest board.
We had a really great branding person. She had us fill out a form, like with
Very
asked us-
in-depth.
a bunch of questions.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if we knew exactly what we wanted. I think she figured it out like
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
for us.
Yeah, I mean, she would ask some questions that we were like, what would be your theme song? And, just very random questions that really dove deep into what we wanted this place to feel like.
Mm-hmm.
And our goal was to make it feel welcoming, but timeless and inviting. And she just really nailed it with her questions. But we did start there with our branding, with the branding designer. And then from there, we were able to place that on our website and throughout our social media and give that whole branding packet to our interior designer, who could then take our colors and the vibe that we wanted and put that through the place. So starting with branding for us was, we would recommend that to anybody to start there, because it makes everything else that much easier.
Well, that's my motto these days as well. I mean, like, that really is the foundation. And I just wrote down, what would your theme song be? Because I don't have that on my branding questionnaire. Right. So that might give me a better glimpse into people's ultimate outcome.
Yeah.
I love the black and mint. I think obviously that mint color just goes perfectly with the name and the look you guys are going for.
Yeah.
And we did focus with our branding, hoping that we might open more than one, that we wanted it to be able to transfer and feel like something that was more than just one independent hygiene office.
Yeah. And you want it to be like recognizable enough that people would be able to kind of like link it back to you and know that it's you guys for sure. Yeah.
Yes.
Brand recognition is huge.
Yeah.
So social media, talk to us a little bit. I mean, you guys are big on social media. I feel like that's hard to do. It's hard to stay consistent and be doing fun stuff and making reels. What is your approach there? And does your team help a little bit, or, what's your motivation?
Initially, when we had no money coming in and we were a startup, it was just us doing it and doing the best that we could. And then eventually, social media is a lot of work. It's a full-time job. That's why people do it. So we got a recommendation from a patient and hired somebody out. She comes to us once a month for an hour and records the next month's reels. And then we provide her with ideas and inspiration. But we did outsource that because it just got too overwhelming, and it's not our expertise by any means. But yeah, she comes once a month.
Full-time job, literally, in and of itself.
Yes.
Do you mind telling us her name?
Yeah, the company is made by Mary Drew, and Mary is spelled like Merry Christmas. She's awesome. Her team is awesome. And they've been a big help for us. Like, for example,
she's local to you guys.
She is, yeah.
Yeah.
I think she's based out of Dover or Portsmouth, but so that's been super helpful. And we pay her a flat rate. She comes that once a month. She posts, she had different packages, but she posts consistently, and we give her ideas for whatever's coming up.
Sure.
February, Children's Dental Health Month. We kind of gear things towards that, or Valentine's Day, or maybe we have a special that we want to highlight. So she picks up on that. But that's been nice to have.
Game changer. Yeah.
Game changer.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
It certainly is a full-time job. We know that. And again, when you're in the startup phase and like you're saying, like, you have no money, you are quite literally everything. You're the social media person, you're like your own accountant, you're this, you're that. And once you start growing, it's nice to be able to outsource the things that you don't like doing
Yes.
or you don't have time for, and just focusing on what's going to help you guys grow. And so I feel like sometimes the middle during that growth phase can be the hardest part and certainly challenging. I talk about this a lot, but with the dental billing company, I think when I was in the middle of it and, maybe I didn't quite have Sarah yet, or, I was trying to get to X amount of revenue to be able to hire a COO or hire team leads. Many, many meltdowns to my husband, like, what am I doing this all for? And like, you just couldn't see the big picture. And that's part of entrepreneurship. Unfortunately, it's not all like glorious, I'm the boss type of thing. But yeah, the middle can be the toughest part. And then getting more to the end when you get help can be such a relief.
Yeah, we hired our first front desk coordinator in March. And once we hired her, we're like, why didn't we do this sooner? Because it was
Yes.
we were doing all these things, answering the phone, missing phone calls, but we were so nervous because it was a startup, and you are watching every dollar, and you're like, do you want to take on somebody else's financial burdens? Because
But in the beginning, we started from scratch. So if we had one patient a day, we were like, oh my gosh, we have a patient. But we had all this extra time to do all that stuff. But like you're saying, when we were in that middle phase, it's like some days we had plenty of time to do that stuff. But then if we had a really busy day, we were like, oh man, we need help. And then we'd go back to a slower day and we're like, oh, we can do this. And it was that teeter-totter, like back and forth for a little while. But finally, we were just like, we have to make that leap to hire somebody to do these other tasks so that we can focus on the things that we are good at and that only we can do.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a perfect segue, because my next question for you guys is like, we talked about all the like fun stuff. My question is about, of course, because this is, my personality and where I lean in. My question's about logistics. So let's talk about the logistics here. How does it work with providers? Like, obviously things come up that you do need to refer out to a provider, like to a doctor, it seems like, or do doctors refer to you guys at all? Or how does that kind of referral relationship work here?
Okay, we're going to take a quick break from today's convo, but don't skip this part because we want to talk about something that's actually made a huge difference, especially in my practice's bottom line, and that is supply ordering.
Oh, yeah. Okay. No, I remember you telling me this story. You were saving a ton of money. And who were you guys using again?
We switched to Frontier Dental about a year ago. I have been loving ordering from them. Their website is super fun. Each product has 360-degree views of products, which doesn't sound like a big deal, right? But when you're trying to figure out that exact pointy, extra fine burr that your doctor wants to order, or some obscure dental instrument that you've never heard of, you want to make sure that you're actually ordering the right thing.
Yes.
So I've been loving that feature.
In those instances, the 2D magazine picture that's, hand drawn by somebody else does not cut it when you need to find that specific burr. And I have obviously been there in my offices too, where we've ordered the wrong thing because of that catalog. And then you have to do the whole return shuffle, wait for your rep to come, pick it up. Maybe you'll be able to exchange it. Maybe you won't. It's just such a headache.
Right. And the pricing is the best that I have found, honestly. So that makes me keep coming back. But besides that, we've now gotten to know their team, and their culture is just awesome. They actually care about their employees and also their customers ordering from them. And it's hard to find a vendor that can combine great prices and support like that. They're constantly reaching out to make sure that our office doesn't need anything or that everything went well. And I've just been super happy. And it's unlike any supply company that I've ordered from before.
I love it because honestly, like with a lot of these supply reps and stuff, they stop by the office and everybody knows them and everybody just feels like they're there to upsell you on stuff, which they sometimes are. But in this case, it sounds like Frontier's really there to support your practice more than anything. And I love to hear that.
Exactly. So if any of our listeners are still ordering from the same old vendor and you haven't done a price check against another company in a long time, please check out Frontier. This is your sign to do it. Their website is awesome. And when we reached out to them to ask if they could offer our listeners a discount, they agreed.
Yay!
So by using the promo code FDBOFA, we'll have that in our show notes. You can get a discount off your first order. Back to the episode.
So we have a network of dentists that we work really closely with, that we trust, that if we see any issues or the patient has any concerns, we can refer them out.
Mm-hmm.
Because there is such a shortage of hygienists right now anyways, just in general, there are a few dentists who do refer to us because there's such a long wait for hygiene. So we have a couple offices that do refer to us, thinking like of this concept. We really didn't think of this aspect of it, but we found it's really nice that, so we have this referral system and we get to refer patients, like customize the referral. So like if a patient is nervous, we can send to this dentist, or
Sure.
if it could be location, it could be personality, it could be the type of work it is. So if somebody needed a filling on a front tooth, we could refer them to this person because we think he does great anterior work.
Yeah.
So it feels really good being able to refer patients and feel confident that they're getting the care that we stand behind.
Yeah.
I like that idea. It's kind of like when a patient's like, put me with a hygienist who doesn't like to use the Cavitron.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the other piece to that, I think, is we're also able to be like offer an unbiased opinion for our patients, and then they trust that more, so that when we do say, hey, you've got something going on here, I think you should really get it checked out. I believe the dentist is going to recommend XYZ or these few options. They really trust us because we have no skin in the game for that. There's no
Right.
money to be made for us making a referral. And that dentist on the other end is not like getting some referral fee from us. It's truly what we saw and why we're concerned about it. And then the patient can make that decision on whether or not to go, but they trust it a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, I think there's a lot of mistrust with dentists or with healthcare in general, but with dentists specifically, because patients can't see what's going on and they do have to trust that their dentist is providing ethical care and not pushing treatment
Sure.
or selling extra treatment. So this takes that mistrust away as well, which we didn't fully anticipate that aspect of it when we opened this. We were really focused on the patient experience. This has come about and has been a very prominent theme for our patients that are like, they come in and they're like, I don't know, I had this dentist tell me I need a bunch of fillings. Do I really need that? And we can give an honest opinion about what we see, and then we can recommend them to somebody that we know doesn't do that.
I think too, and one of the offices that we refer to a lot, the office manager came to us and was like, our doctors love Mint patients because the patients go into the dentist office too, already knowing that they need the work. So there's less of that conversation and like mistrust or no, like not knowing. So
Yeah.
I think the patients, we tell them before, so then when they go to the dentist, it's not shocking.
They're more prepared.
They're prepared for it.
Yeah, they're obviously like, I'm here, so
Yeah.
we may as well do something.
Yes. And the dentist, we also explain, the dentist has the final say. This is what we see and what we're concerned about and what we think
Sure.
might happen for you. But the dentist is going to make the evaluation and they're the final stop. So, go in with an open mind, but we think that you should go.
Yeah.
And the great part about independent hygiene is we provide that information and we provide the referral, but it's up to the patient to act on it. So for the patients that don't want to for anxiety or financial reasons or don't think they need it, they don't have to. They can choose to do what they want, but that takes a little bit of that anxiety away for them as well.
Sure.
I always call that option D. Do you want to do option D, which is nothing?
Yes, exactly. That's an option. And they
Yeah.
should have that option, right? Yeah.
For
Exactly.
sure. For sure.
All right, let's see. I think, see, you guys are being good, or you pretty much covered everything we had in this section.
I have one more logistical question, of course, because this is near and dear to both Amanda and I's hearts, of course, which is the insurance piece of the puzzle. And as you mentioned, you only fairly recently brought on a front desk coordinator. So tell me about how insurance was working previous to having somebody up front helping you out, and what that works for, like, in network, out of network, how you're submitting claims, all of that fun stuff.
Yeah, we know nothing of this, like how independent hygiene practices get credentialed. Like, I know nothing about that, really.
We didn't know any
And
of
I'm
this
sure
either.
that was probably new to, I'm sure that was probably new to you guys too.
Yeah.
We always respected our team members in other offices, but we have a new level of respect.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, for insurance and front desk coordinators.
Yeah, we thought, we just submit something online to insurance and then it comes in the mail the next day.
Yes.
We thought we'd get
If
paid
only.
in 2 days automatically through our bank account.
All right,
So-
walk us through that. First, because I like to envision this. What practice management software do you guys use?
Curve. It's
Okay.
a
All right, so
cloud-based
cloud-based. Yep.
software. Yep.
And we do utilize their
Dental exchange.
online
Okay.
billing software. So
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, perfect. So, just so I can visually picture all this in my mind. Okay, yeah. Walk us through a little bit of, like, where did you even start with this big thing of insurance?
We were so naive. We just submitted things and then they came back denied, and then we were stressing because we didn't realize we had a credential with everyone. But it was Danielle and I. We weren't that busy, so we just figured it out. So we just sent all the information we needed to with every claim until we were credentialed with all the insurance companies.
Yeah. And they didn't have any pushback for you. Like, I'm just imagining, this model is not obviously common in most states. So I know what we have to fight insurance companies about for dentists in a very regular traditional model to be able to get them credentials. So I can't imagine what it maybe was like for you guys with certain payers or how that worked.
Yeah, like you had mentioned, Patterson was trying to design your space, and like them not really understanding your model. I could see maybe this being a hiccup with some insurance companies.
Probably 75% of insurance companies, we didn't have any problems with once we learned
To credential.
because we have an NPI, just like a dentist.
Yeah.
Once we learned that minor detail.
But there were a few, and we had to fight. There were a few that we really, really had to fight, but we didn't give up. I can think of one insurance issue like that we have with one insurance company, but for the most part, everybody's paying us.
Okay.
Awesome.
Yep.
So you guys are in network with about how many plans?
We're in network with 3 plans.
Okay.
Delta,
Big one.
yep. Maine Care, which is our local, which is Maine's Medicaid
State.
program.
Yeah, Medicaid.
State
Yeah.
Medicaid program. And then New Hampshire's Medicaid program for adults only allows bordering communities to hop on. So we joined that network as well to help our neighboring communities. So we're in network with those 3.
Okay, that's not bad. So people who come in out of network, do you have them pay out of pocket and then have them get reimbursed by the insurance company, or what do you guys do there?
We felt like with preventative care, everybody expects that their insurance just handles it and they're not going to have to come out of pocket with anything.
Yes.
And because of that, we didn't want to put off people, especially in the beginning when we were growing. So we chose to handle all of that for them. So we take their insurance, we bill their insurance, and we did our best to estimate or do our best to estimate ahead of time. But especially in the beginning, when you're building that kind of fee schedule, we didn't have those answers. And we put a lot of trust in our patients.
And you'd send them a bill after for whatever
We send them
they
a
might
bill
owe.
after. Yep. And it's worked just fine for us overall.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it works for us.
Yeah. I imagine with preventative services only, it's definitely an easier, I think, road to navigate there. So that's great for you guys. And I'm glad that it is working out well.
Yeah. There's, instead of hundreds of codes, I mean, we have only about 50 codes that
Yeah.
we can really use. So
Yeah.
Yes,
it
it's not
definitely
the
was
whole
easy.
gamut.
Yeah.
I think where people are so passionate about coming to see you guys and wanting to maintain a relationship, it probably helps them like not ignore that bill that they're getting because they want to come back. So
Yeah.
that for sure helps. I think just in the dental space in general, we're kind of ingrained to not do this like balance billing thing, but I do think for select practices it can work, and it sounds like it's working for you guys. And you're right, where it's preventative, patients have this idea even when they've maxed out their benefits, like, no, but I can still come in for my cleaning. Like, no, that actually applies to your
No
yearly
matter
max, too.
what, I get 2 free
Yes,
cleanings
a
a year.
And we're like,
That's
no,
a part
no.
of it.
And in the beginning, we started out not in network. We really wanted to avoid that because generally speaking, the general consensus amongst dentists is to avoid being in network.
Yep.
But
Yep.
again, people expect that their preventative care is covered. And what we were finding was the reimbursement rate being out of network with some of the bigger providers was very low. And unfortunately, no one is going to pay that much out of pocket for a preventative care when they can go to somebody in network and not pay that. So
Yeah.
we did choose to go in network for a few big plans.
Big plans
For sure.
around you. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the other plans, besides the 3 that we mentioned, do reimburse pretty well. So most patients don't have a large out of pocket, if anything.
Yep.
So, and we do our best, again, to try and just explain that right from the start. When a patient calls or comes in, we're very upfront about that because we don't want any surprises. Nobody likes getting a surprise bill or walking up to the front desk and being like, today's $400. And they're,
Yeah.
oh, I thought it was free, So we are very upfront about that. It helps us and it helps the patient and it builds trust. So we don't want to hide anything from that.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you guys have any like in-house membership plans?
We do.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
We decided to offer a membership plan for, those patients that don't have insurance. It just makes it easier for them to plan their visits and keep coming. We figured if they're paying for it, it would help keep them on track and actually return for a visit. And we offer one that they can either pay monthly or pay for the whole year. And it works just for our office, but it gives them their 2 cleanings. There's different plans, but generally speaking, 2 cleanings, 2 fluoride treatments, and any of their routine x-rays within that plan. And then again, it helps them not have to dread this huge bill at the front desk and then maybe act like a barrier to care. Because I think a lot of people avoid the dentist because they think, well, nothing hurts and I'm pretty good about my home care and I don't want to drop $400 today for them to just tell me, well, you look good, so
Yeah.
this breaks that up for them and helps keep a relationship with dentistry. So
Yeah. I'm curious, do you guys see, I know when I was in office, we had a handful of patients who really viewed preventative care as more like even as more of like a cosmetic, like self-care thing. Like we had a couple patients who would want to come in because they would want to get polished and make sure they didn't have any stains and like that kind of thing. Do you guys feel like you've started to see some patients or any patients at all like leaning that way with you guys? Because I think, your overall like aesthetic and messaging really is kind of like lends itself to that. So curious if you have people coming in 4 times a year for cleanings just because they can and because you guys are there, or if you haven't quite reach that part yet.
I would say we have a large population that love taking advantage of coming more often.
I can see that for sure.
And, they come and they sit down and they say, oh, I told my coworkers I was going to the dental spa today. and their coworkers look at them like they're crazy and they say, you don't know what you're missing, and they're just so excited to come. So we absolutely have patients come just for that. Yeah.
I think that to me, like you guys should take that as a great sign that like you've really landed, your marketing and your feeling and everything that you guys wanted to accomplish. Like the fact that people are willingly coming to you or asking to come more regularly, I think is like a great testament to what you guys have built and how you put it together, because that's awesome. And
Thanks,
obviously not many dental offices can say that.
Yeah, thank you so much. I mean, we really do focus on the patient experience and we want them to feel good and we care about we care about everybody that walks in the door. And I think they can feel that, which helps that too. But
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about the practice that you just acquired and your plans there, how that's just different from a startup in general. Yeah, talk us through that.
the practice that we acquired, when we first started, we were always thinking that we would open multiple mints. This opportunity came our way through word of mouth that somebody was retiring after having this practice for almost 15 years. So we were interested in it because it already had the patient base. So it could support itself out the gate, which was intriguing to us. But along with that, obviously comes with cleaning up quite a few messes. And I guess part of that is us not doing our full due diligence on the back end before the purchase. Because you walk in and you see a clean office and, you know, you just see things surface level and maybe you don't deep dive on some things that you should have. So we learned quite a few lessons there. But it was challenging taking over somebody else's practice in that they don't do things the same way that we did or do. The standard of care was different than what we do here at Mint. We hold ourselves to a very high standard here and our team to a very high standard here. And that was not the case there on every level, from behind the scenes to patient care to billing. And so we were left to clean all of that up. Our provider that we purchased the practice from also didn't tell anybody that she was retiring. We
Ooh, I
were
love
also
those.
left
Yes.
to face
Been there.
some very upset patients. And they were taken aback to walk in to not seeing the person that they'd seen for 15 years, to someone
Sure.
telling them that they need XYZ, have decay or gum disease that they were unaware of, that they
Eek.
even need, you know, that they even need anything more than what they were used to. And so that was a real challenge for us day to day, because here we built the practice and attracted the clients that would appreciate our care. And there we were trying to convince clients that they needed our care.
Sure.
That was a challenge.
Yeah, this sounds like
Yeah.
a total opposite of what you guys had going on. It reminds me
Yes.
of, we had like an 80-year-old dentist kind of down the street from my practice retire, and all of his patients came over to us. He didn't sell, he just closed his doors. And they all, it was very shoddy. I mean, he was older, obviously, and they're like, what do you mean I need XYZ? This is crazy. It's so, yeah. I'm assuming similar situation.
They loved that person. They built a
Yes.
you know, decade or more long
Yeah, they
relationship
trust
with
them.
and they trusted them. And so we're new people, new office, then they just, you know, it takes a lot to build trust back. So that's been challenging. Fortunately, we can prove things with x-rays and intraoral images and being kind and transparent. And we have a great team that has really, you know, made it all possible. But it's been challenging there. We're almost a year of ownership there. So things are definitely changing. You know, we've gotten through that first 6 months of patients.
Yeah. Yep.
So now
we've
they're
seen them all
coming back
again.
a second time and things are changing course, which is great. It was nice to have the financial foundation, though, to not be stressing that, could we pay the staff this month?
bills.
Could we
Yeah.
pay the bills? Could we
Yeah.
keep the heat on, or do we need to, you know, are we going to all be
Space
wearing
heater.
Yeah, exactly.
Do we need to start ordering Temu bibs?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do I need to put my feet on Feet Finder today?
You guys, you entrepreneurs are too much for me. I'm going to tell you right now. Always thinking outside the box.
But that one's taught us a lot. So we're appreciative for that new learning experience. And now that we're on the other side of it, past 6 months, things are getting a lot better.
Do you feel like, based on right now, you guys kind of have enough experience on like both sides of the coin here. So when Mint is ready for location number 3, do you think you will go startup, or do you think you will go acquisition?
Startup.
1,000% startup.
Really? Okay. Jeez.
Okay. All right. I love it. Ugh.
It again, it is nice to start with the way you want to do things. And when you purchase something, and generally you're purchasing someone else's mess. And the first thing I was thinking of is, what did those outstanding insurance claims look like? Like, what their AR look like, you know? Because that's always a huge piece of an acquisition. And you see that a lot with traditional practices, like the selling dentist sometimes is not really upfront, or they're trying to change things about what their AR looks like. And, you know, you're buying a percentage of the AR knowing you're not going to collect it all. But that's usually a big piece of it. So okay, it scared you off enough where you're thinking startup is the way to go.
Yeah, you know, you can attract who you want to attract. You can attract the people that appreciate you and your level of care. You set the precedents and the boundaries right from the start. This is what we do and how we do it. And if you like it, we're here for you. And if you don't, thank you.
There's the
See you around.
But also, you know, you guys have you've done the hard work of the startup, you know, now. I think my assumption would be starting up a new location, but you still already have your foundation of your branding, your social media, like all of that is there. So it's kind of just like directing it in a different geographical location maybe, but like you've already done the really hard work of getting people to recognize you. So I think I totally get that draw. It makes sense. You guys are smarties over there.
Thank you.
So your plans are to rename the acquisition. I like the notion of, they talk about this when you're going out of network with insurance too, is give it a year. It's like a slow rollout, and it's 2 live conversations with patients in the chair about what to expect when you make this change. So I get the concept of, okay, well, we're 6 months in, and we're seeing people for the second time, and slowly rolling it out rather than just stunning everybody off the bat. Although it sounds like they were a little bit stunned off the bat, but I'm sure I am sure they are warming up to you lovely ladies.
Yeah, for sure.
You must have other hygienists, obviously, who work for you. How many others are there?
So in our first location, we have 1 hygienist and a front desk coordinator, and same at the other location. And Danielle and I go back and forth between the 2.
Okay. And then what about, like, do you have a steri tech or something? Like, who's doing the instruments? That's what I'm thinking. Nothing. You guys?
We're a small team, so we all just work together.
Okay.
Because it's not a traditional office, so it's not as many instruments.
Yeah,
you know, it's
like
just got
building
cassette
up.
and
Yes. Okay. Well, a part of it was who works there? What are they doing? Now we know.
Yeah.
This is a small, intimate team.
Yeah, we are growing, and we are hiring. If any independent hygienists would like to come work with us.
Okay.
Because we are growing, and the communities around us have really taken to the idea of it and the model of care. So yeah, we are looking to add on, which is exciting for us because, again, we're a startup, and it's like, are people going to like it? Is it going to work? And so we feel like we've proven to ourselves that it does work.
But yes.
Yeah, for sure.
And we're in independent hygiene care was really originally passed for kind of access to care for rural communities. Yes. We're not in a rural community here at Mint. We have probably 30 or more dental offices within a 15-mile radius of us. So we're not getting all of our patients just because patients don't have an option.
Sure.
Which is exciting.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yes. I mean, I think that ties right into what I was asking. Like, people are wanting to come in because they want to come in. They genuinely want to be there, not because, they have to be there because they have no other options. If they're coming in extra times in a year because they like being there, like, there's no greater, indication of your guys's, success in what you were trying to accomplish, I think, is people just choosing to come see you.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Okay, so I think we have a couple of closing questions here. Amanda, you okay with us moving into the closing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
No problem.
Tell us, we talked about like one thing you would do again, and it sounds like startup, yes, all the way. So that's great. What's one piece of advice that you have for any other dental professionals that are listening?
Yeah. I would say hygienists who want to do this. And how many, do you know how many states this is? Or any other,
so
you don't know them all,
Maine, Colorado, and Oregon are the most liberal with what hygienists can do. There are other states that have limited extra authorities that they can do other things. Yes.
like
Just
public health
cross country mint.
yeah,
Cross country
Yeah,
mint.
cross-country
blend.
mint thing.
I'm over
My
here in
husband would
Washington,
love
so
it
you
if,
guys
Florida
let
would
me
pass
know.
it. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, of course. Everyone wants that dual practice where you are.
Yes, snowbird practice.
Yes, snowbird practice. Yes. Okay. Yeah. And what would be your advice for a hygienist who wants to look into this?
One thing we would always say is everything's figure outable. There's somebody out there that has done it before and can help guide you. So if you don't know something, you can figure it out. You're not the first person in the world to do it. So the information is out there. You just have to find it, and it's absolutely possible to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And then again, we started with branding, and we felt like that was really important for us.
I like to hear that. I can't stress that enough, for sure.
Branding and now credentialing. We've also
Yes.
learned.
Yes.
But do that too.
My two loves, insurance and branding. What I want to kind of tie in, just what part of entrepreneurship was surprising or challenging or even rewarding? Because I'm assuming, is this the first business that you guys each have ever owned or opened? Or
I owned a spray tan business before this, actually, as a side
okay,
thing.
that counts.
It does count. I was
It
pretty
definitely
busy.
does.
So, but that was more just me by myself doing that.
Sure.
At one point, I had a small team, and then COVID happened and that dissipated. So I was really just managing myself. So I think Jen and I, one of the biggest challenges is truly managing other people and their emotions and their personalities and making sure that we're still a team at the end of the day.
Yes, managing people is not easy.
I mean, I think this is obviously, in this way, it really mirrors a traditional dental office ownership situation, which is the doctor goes to dental school, thinks that he wants to own a practice, or he or she wants to own a practice, buys into a practice or starts a practice from the ground up, is super excited to do dentistry the way that they want to do dentistry, and then realizes, oh, there's actually credentialing, people management, PTO, benefits, time off, all of these things that you also have to consider. And obviously it sounds like you guys have handled that well, but it's just a whole nother component that you don't really think about when you're thinking about doing dentistry and taking care of anxious patients. That's the end goal, but there's a lot of other things that have to happen in order for you to be able to do that.
Yeah. And the dentistry and the anxious patient, that's the easy part, right? We've been doing it for, almost 2 decades. So it's you could do that with your eyes closed, but the other stuff, it's the messy parts. Yeah.
Yes. I kind of, the practice I manage is big. And the other day someone was crying and she's like, oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't want anyone to see me cry. I didn't mean to draw attention. I'm like, this is the practice of all women. If someone is not crying in the bathroom once a month, then something's off, because that just is a given. We are used to tears here. And I also joke about all our doctors are men. And I'm like, I bet when you were in dental school, you weren't thinking, there's a lot of estrogen I'm going to be around and I need to learn how to deal with women, because honestly, they're still not very good at it. That's kind of what they
they
push
should add
towards
that
me.
to.
Absolutely.
They should add that to the degree. Yep.
And it's not even just men dealing with women. It's some women are not great with dealing with women, myself included. I would not say that I am great with always dealing with all this emotion and stuff. So should certainly be a class.
Yes.
Yep. For sure.
Okay, let's see. What else we got here, Sarah?
We're near the end.
Yeah, that's about it. So we had our one piece of advice. I'll round out with one last question. What is the biggest thing that you guys have been proud of? I think as entrepreneurs, you don't always take the time to sit down and reflect upon your accomplishments, and we play everything down and don't give ourselves a lot of credit. But I want you guys to to say something nice here of yourselves. See, they're really quiet.
It's hard.
I was going to say, you didn't know
nice
this was
about
going to be
yourself.
you didn't know it was going to be a therapy session on top of everything else, did you?
It's hard to say something nice about yourself and reflect.
I can say something nice.
Me
I mean,
too.
I feel like I already
Yes.
have, but I think it is it's really inspiring, as we sit here and, talk about women and women entrepreneurship and then dentistry as well. We've already kind of touched on it a few times about how dentistry is and has kind of always been like male dominated, and also, again, no talking bad about our doctor friends, but it's been male dominated and doctor dominated, right? And so I think it's really inspiring what you guys are doing, and just the fact that you even were willing to kind of consider it or take the leap. I'm sure it was scary, but it's super inspiring for all the other women that are in dentistry to say like, okay, we can think outside the box and we can do this and we could take the leap here, and look how successful you guys have been and you've made it work. And that is, I just sit here and hear your guys' story, and so happy that we were able to have you on here to be able to kind of spread that word out to other women too.
Yes. I just think it speaks volumes that your patients want to keep coming back. And obviously you guys are offering something different and enjoyable and in the dental space that can be hard to come by. And I think it's awesome that you guys are so patient forward and patient focused. And I always think that when there's true passion, the rest will follow. And you guys obviously have that. So
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I think maybe I can share something and then tie it into this story that happened to us in the beginning. But I think I am really proud of us for stepping outside the box and taking, even the model of care is technically outside of the box, even though it has been passed, this law in Maine has been passed since 2009. Again, traditionally, it was to serve rural, underserved communities, and we took it and took a different spin on it that we felt could meet a need. And we've proven that it can be successful because we, again, are in a heavily populated community with easy access to multiple wonderful dentists and providers. And we've set ourselves apart, and we've made sure that our patients feel heard and valued, and we serve them well. And I am really proud of that. And I'm proud that we didn't give up. In the beginning, again, we did get some denials from a major insurance company with for one of the like biggest employers in our area, which is a local hospital. And we would call and we would wait on hold and we would ask to talk to management and we would ask to talk to a supervisor, and they'd just say there's nothing that they could do. And we didn't give up, and we called the CEO and found their phone number, and we said, hey, can you help us with this? And you know what? He called us back, and it took us about 6 months to get it approved, but we got back paid for every single claim. And we changed that for every single hygienist moving forward. And that was like this mountain that when we got that phone call, I think it was the day before Christmas, we got this phone call that they were going to pay us back for everything and they were going to change rules within that insurance company. We were like, we can do this.
That did feel
good.
Guys, like literally like goosebumps about this story. Like honestly, because this is what it takes, is just like people to be tenacious and to try to fight for it. It would have been so easy for you guys to just be like, well, I guess that's a tough lesson learned. Yeah, exactly. And to not try to keep with it. But the fact that you guys did, and the fact that you I don't want to get woo-woo about it because we know how we feel about woo-woo, Amanda.
We're not
but
very woo-woo.
Literally like breaking the glass ceiling here a bit, right? Because you guys paved the way for other people to be able to do this and not have the same issues and frustrations and struggles that you did. Like that is incredible. You guys definitely should be patting yourself on the back for that.
Yeah, where there's a will, there's a way. Obviously, you have proven that. And I always think that if there's something I really want to do and someone's saying no to me, I'm going to find a workaround and I'm going to do it.
Yeah, we just didn't understand why it couldn't be. And we were like, we're just not talking to the right person. And we made it happen. And, again, like you said, people before us just said, no, that's just the way it is. And that wasn't okay with us. And so we kept pressing.
Even the local Delta said, they were like, well, no, just these ones will not pay you. And we're like, that doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. That's not the law.
And so we pushed on it, and it started with that big one. And then a few other of those state insurances said no. And because of that one connection, we would call the CEO again and say, hey, do you know anybody over in Virginia that you can call? And he would get it fixed for us. And it really, I mean, it made a difference. And again, it changed the course for us. And it proved to us that we just, you can't give up.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, ladies, so much for coming on today, and apologize if we kind of cyberstalked you a little bit there, but I'm really glad we got to have you on and tell your story. Again, we're always just looking for people. We don't reach out to just anybody. We have very few guests on this show.
Well, thank you guys. We feel really honored.
The ones we do, we just think are doing something really cool, and that is most certainly you. We're going to link all your stuff in our show notes, and everybody you guys mentioned that might be able to help anyone else. And that's it. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you guys for being here.
Thank you guys. You made our first podcast experience as easy as possible. So thank you.
Okay. Thank you guys so much for listening, and we will catch you on the next episode.
Bye.